So yeah, Lightning's other toxic waste problem. So let's start with looking at what are our goals for Lightning. Lots of goals, but one of them is privacy. And the main way we've gotten that privacy is something called onion routing. And I'll give an example of that, which is an actual real-world transaction through one of my Lightning nodes. And this is routed through my node. And what do I know? Well, I know it came in from a channel connected to someone called null R. The destination, this other channel, which I happen to know is Matt Corallo, and then an amount, and of course there's a small amount that went to fees for me. What don't I know? Well, I don't know where the money came from. I don't really know where the money's going. And why don't I know these things? Well, because of onion routing. When Lightning payments are routed, you can kind of think of it like an onion, where we wrap every individual layer of hops in yet another layer of encryption. Someone in the middle like me, well, I know where it came from, I know where it's going, but that's it. That's all I know. So, that's cool. But let's look at another transaction, another payment routed through my node. Very, very similar, except, hang on a second, October 3rd, 2024, that's over a year ago. And in this case, the source channel ID and destination channel ID are not like highlighted because these channels aren't even open anymore. You know, they were closed sometime in the past year. Same information as before I have, but you really got to ask the question, well, why do I know this? Like, I don't need this information. That transaction happened ages ago. Why am I keeping this? And this gets to our problem. Let's look at who actually runs Lightning nodes, or to be exact, who hosts them. Amazon.com has 30% of Lightning nodes. If I remember correctly, I ordered this graph by volume, not number. Anyway, the results are pretty similar. But Amazon, Google, DigitalOcean, and a whole bunch of little ones. But between the top three, if you can get logs from that top three, you could de-anonymize a heck of a lot of Lightning transactions. And if we go keep logs, by default, you're going to wind up being able to de-anonymize a heck of a lot of Lightning transactions with only a couple of subpoenas. Now, we have prior art on this, which of course is Tor, which is such a good example of onion routing that the logo literally has an onion in it. Now, on Tor, can I get Tor to go keep logs? I don't know if you ever tried, but it's really hard to get Tor to keep anything. There's some special config options that you can use in debugging scenarios, but they don't document this. They don't have code for this. By default, every single thing that Tor routes through your system just gets discarded. There's no logs kept at all, no meaningful logs. Here in Lightning, we're doing the exact opposite. Another set of prior art, which is VPNs. Mullvad, not only does their system not keep logs, they've designed their system to, assuming you trust that they actually do this, to not even make it possible to keep logs. There's no disks in their VPN servers. They get some account ID information, presumably from some central account database, but the actual routing is done on servers that just don't have somewhere to store the logs to begin with. Can you subpoena Mullvad for routing information? Well, not very easily. You got to go get them to do something special. So, what is being done about this issue? Well, L&D knows about this issue. A guy by the name of SuperTestNet wrote this kind of long and hard to understand issue, but it essentially touches on the main issue, which is why the hell does L&D not make it possible to even delete logs? This isn't even a default thing. I want to delete the logs on my L&D node. I can't figure out how to. And we did get a reply back. Well, so I don't hear SQLization, please. I don't think they even understood what the heck the question was, or they don't want to understand. Finally, is there a good technical reason to do any of this? Well, I don't know. Come on, any of you guys, can you give me a good technical reason why L&D keeps logs by default? That's not a technical reason. Why can't I delete logs? There is no way for me to delete logs other than just throwing away my whole LND instance and starting afresh. Why isn't this implemented? No, they're not recorded that way. There is no, it's not a separate set of logs. It's something internal in the databases. There's no easy way to get rid of this.
So there are logs in the database and not like the logs directory? Is that separate thing?
Yeah, no, I'm talking about routing logs. They're embedded in a bunch of fancy databases. I don't have a clue how the hell they really work. And I shouldn't have to. This should be some option, like LNCLI, I don't know, purge history or something. Anyone? Anyone got an explanation for me? This is going to be a very short talk if someone doesn't go and give me one. Not a technical comment, but you may not be wrong.
Often when I'm designing stuff, I do it the lazy way, which is store all the data in one location. And it could be they just haven't, but they originally did it the lazy way and haven't changed it since then due to thinking other things are more important.
Yeah, other things like creating taproot assets on a multi-year quest to go and bring USDT to Lightning. I mean, why not care about the privacy that we actually all depend on?
I totally think you should purge logs, but just going devil's advocate, I think there's this feeling well, are we still reckless? Is this still in dev? Is this even production software? Maybe we're still debugging it, So just make it easy
Why can't I be reckless? I'm the one with the node. Also, this should be pretty easy. We're talking in the case I gave, it's about things so the channels don't even exist anymore. I mean, it's all been wrapped up and done. I mean, they've got an entire separate system, which is actual log files, and those get automatically deleted by default. They don't bother keeping that for debugging. Yet somehow routing information, the one thing that's really privacy sensitive, that's the thing that there's no way to delete it. Not to mention, if I run a really busy node, I'll eventually run out of disk space, which is its own problem, but anyway.
So in a technical way, they're gone, but old HTLCs can show up if an old transaction is broadcast, and so you might need some of that data to recover
We're talking about channels that are closed.
Oh, then no, never mind. But yeah, you can delete that.
I'll grant there are edge cases for things not quite, that recent, but channels that are completely closed. Now, if I was going to make this a longer talk, I could talk about, I don't know, maybe we could reuse a kind of encryption scheme used for, watchtowers, whatever, yada. But who cares? We're all eating lunch. We don't want to pay attention to that bullshit. The important thing is, can I delete logs for channels that are even closed? And we can't. All right, go eat your lunch.